We've got our third game of the day coming your way, Dusty versus Nordavind. It is going to be, I would hope, a close match. I really, really do want Dusty to be able to get back into this. They're currently at a 0% win rate. The roster is definitely capable of more. That's that's kind of the way I feel about it. So I would hope that Dusty find their way back in. But honestly, Nordavind, they've also got a really talented roster. You got Ericsson, who had such an incredible last split. He was coming out as as some people was kind of like underdog MVP in a lot of scenarios. You've got Kerberos, who's had a pretty storied career over a couple of different ERLs. So both of these rosters, we're already into picks and bans. Let's kick things off and see where we start with those bans. It looks like no one's been banned yet, so we'll wait. There we go. Lilia ban comes through for Dusty.
And for what it's worth, Dusty has had, just for the information for you guys out there, if you want to know, Dusty have changed a bit of in the coaching staff. They have brought in support Quickset as the coach instead. If you're familiar with Norwegian players, well, you might know him as one of the best Norwegian supports there is as well. So I'm sure he's going to bring some value and competitive knowledge to Dusty as well. But if that's going to flourish yet, I don't think so. That's something we might see in the future. But going into the bans, I think that Dusty will prepare, or Nordavind was prepared for this Seraphim ban, just because this Dusty playstyle is that we want to go in, we want to fight, we want to play these new picks. They love new picks, and if there's a team that's going to bring out Udyr, I think it would be Dusty.
Yeah, I think Cham's a jungler that's very capable of doing that, and I like that you mentioned Quickseth. He is a support that kind of made his name in the first European Masters, kind of carved that out for him himself back then, and he's kind of consistently been in the spotlight in the ERLs thereafter. So hoping that change up in coaching staff may be enough for Dusty, because I believe Dusty previously had Veigar coaching them in the previous splits.
Yeah, one of the previous split they had Veigar. He went to Cloud9, obviously. His assistant coach back then was Stemp, and then went on to take on Dusty. And as far as I'm concerned, he's busy with studies or something. I'm not 100% sure, but enough about the coaches. We're here for the players. We're here to see what they are going to be.
Wow, poor coaches. God,
and they're behind the scene, and they'll stay behind the scene.
Doruk didn't even get a look in, mate. We've done him dirty here. It's going to be Jin and a Kai'Sa band away. Talia, the ban coming out from Nordavind. Now we're looking for our final red side ban here. A lot of power picks have been taken off the table. Pantheon obviously still up and available, but it is going to be the Rel, who has slowly been gaining more and more competitive priority. I don't know if you guys saw the lock-in tournament finals, the TL C9 lock-in tournament finals, but Core JJ's Rel was absolutely filthy, dude. Like, honestly.
Yeah. And we saw it just win last game. So.
Yeah, true. We saw Advian on Rel last game, who was pretty solid too, but the Olaf gets locked in here, I assume, for Chum.
Yeah, and so obviously I said that I expected a team like Dusty to be locking in Udyr, but when Olaf is up, you gotta grab the Olaf. And on the other side as well, when Pantheon is up, you gotta grab the Pantheon. So we get two power picks locked in, one for each side so far, but you get to pair it up with another. If you want the weak sided, there's still the kind of Gragas. If you want the engage as well, there's your Alistar. That also means that you kind of can make the response of going either Thresh or going for the Leona on the side if you want to play for bot lane here. We know Peterson used to be a huge Thresh player back in the Danish scene as well, and that's something where you can play the Alistar combo, but it takes a bit of skill. Let's see if that's something he's up to the task.
I'm looking my eyes towards now in the mid lane for Dusty. That Twisted Fate, because I think whenever you play versus Pantheon, personally, I feel like Twisted Fate gets really high pro because he's just so irritating with his ability to grand. Is it even called Grand Starfall anymore? Is it? I think it got its name changed, didn't it, with the rework?
It used to be Grand Skyfall. It is now Grand Starfall. So, you got it right.
So yeah, not going to be a Twisted Fate, but it's going to be that Gragas. I hope that is Gragas' top side, because another thing that I want to see Dusty do more of is to have Flaxis be their weak side. We've seen a lot of attention be put towards him. I think he's been drafted Camille a few times, and Cheom sometimes picks like these gank heavy junglers, and he just kind of like sits top, and it's worked. Like they've gotten kills in that top side, but never really been able to translate that into anything that gives them any kind of sizable difference when you come out of that top side of the map, when you come out of lane phase. So if that is a Gragas top, it is a flex at this point. Could be bot lane as well. In fact, it probably is going to be bot lane because it's so good into Alistar. However, the concept of playing Flaxish on weak side, for me, this is what I want to see coming out of this draft.
I agree with that. And as a third pick, we got Aphelios as an AD carry. Obviously, Crispberg Kaiser was banned away, but I want to talk a bit about what this champion does. He's the kind of champion that relies on the enemy team to walk into you so you can kite back with your short range, but also have the guns that really pays off. But the comp from Dusty so far is obviously Olaf runs ahead, but you got some good disengage in the Gragas as well. You got some good poke damage that can come out from this center. So it's going to be interesting already now to see how the rest of the comp is going to shape out, because if you're Nordavind, you need something that can pull it towards this Aphelios, and now is a good pick for that. But let's see how Dusty rounds it up, because I want more of these kind of range poke that can nullify the Aphelios.
Don't say that, because he'll pick Jace. He'll pick Jace, and then that's all going to go in the toilet. I don't want to see Flaxis from Jace.
Do we think it's Gragas support because it's Alistair? Do you think it might be Gragas support purely because it's Alistair? Yeah. I know I've seen some Seraphine Senna lanes recently, because it can be quite obnoxious to play into. Actually, I've got a question, guys. I saw a tweet recently because Seraphine got a slight change, right? There was some attack speed scaling change that Seraphine had that kind of essentially unlocked some different build paths for her. What were the main changes that allowed Seraphine to become a little bit more meta again? Does anyone know what those specifically?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead, Foxy, and answer that one?
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to explain that. I'm just going to say Moonstaff, honestly. So I feel like she was so as a new champion, she was underappreciated. If I'm not mistaken, she got some buffs because of that. She was underplayed. But even if she wasn't, like, it takes a while for like new champions to kind of find their footing. And with the introduction of the kind of appearance of Moonstaff being such a powerful build, yeah, I think. Wait, I thought he was talking about Seraphine. Are we talking about Senna?
No, I'm talking about Senna. Sorry,
oh my goodness.
Okay.
Oh, that's why you threw us up. We all.
That's why you threw me out. I was like, attack speed Seraphine.
I thought I said Senna. I thought I said Senna. Sorry, the two S's they confused me. But anyway, Orcs has saved the day with Senna regardless. Her attack speed ratio got increased, and also her Q can now apply Kraken stacks, so she's got a couple more build paths that are opened up to, which is nice. Silas gets locked in, everybody. Silas is going to Eric.
So good into Malphite.
We saw a lot of him play last season. This is it's definitely a weak side Malphite top. You kind of mentioned it. You know, there's a weak side Malphite for Flaxis. You want to see that be played. What do we think? Like, very briefly, what do we think of these two compositions before we go to our casters?
Do I take one? Do you want one, Dusty? You want to go first?
I'll go Dusty.
Okay, you go Dusty. Okay, so from Nordavind side, I like the Silas pick coming in. You can steal the ultimate from obviously the Malphite, which is great engage. You got the Alistar to play for as your main engager. You can play the map. You got some sideline presence in the map, but what you're looking for here is the team fights. Aphelios pick still a bit interesting to me because there is some main engage that can just shut him down here.
Yeah, and that's what you're saying, the engage. I'm looking towards a champion like that Malphite, where I think Dusty being able to play weak side on the top, that makes me very happy. And then Malphite pressing R on Aphelios, going to make me very happy, not going to make Crispberg very happy. And I'm not really sure Nordavind have the tools to be able to deal with that.
Okay, well, let's see how it plays out. I am, even though I predicted Nordavind, kind of hoping for a Dusty win just so they can at least try and stay competitive and look for a playoff spot, because it'd be really nice to see Dusty just at least get on the board here. But I think, I predicted Nordavind because I considered them to be likely the better team, just given the results. Let's see how it goes. Orcs and Hit Prey, let's jump into game.
I've got good news for you, X-Scoundrel. Olaf at the moment has a 100% win rate. So if all trends continue here, Dusty actually should be on track here. I love their comp. I genuinely love that comp. Even if you take the Olaf out of that and you put something else in there, the Senna is really good for this team in the sense that it gives you a bit of peeling, a bit of kite ability, but it also just does crazy damage. If you haven't seen Kraken Slayer on a Senna yet, it's disgusting. The other day I got hard carried by one, and whoever you were, thank you. Honestly, love this Dusty comp. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, I think they got a lot of powerful tools. The Malphite is a great answer to the Aphelios, but then the fact they have the Olaf with the support from the shields from the Orianna, the healing from the Senna, it just really facilitates just a dive forwards composition. A lot of tools, a lot of skirmishing, a lot of power. And all in all, in this draft altogether, there's been a lot of power on both sides. The fact we have Olaf on one side, Pantheon on the other, a lot of early strength, and I expect to see both teams coming out swinging because Nordavind have some strong tools. Gnar obviously really strong on current patch, and as was talked about, the Silas being able to steal away the Malphite ult, but I think it's more difficult to execute. I think the composition for Dusty is pretty brainless, honestly, as in you can be brainless and still play that. It just really should look to play itself, whereas Nordavind, there's a bit more nuance. Crispberg has been playing excellently so far for this team, but he needs to continue that because there's a lot of dangerous threats on the other side that he has to deal with.
These are the kind of comps I like to call the one key comps. You have your R key. That's the only one that actually matters. And, you know, once these level 6s come in, look for the big 5-on-5 fights. I want to talk a little bit about the Pantheon and the Olaf matchup in the jungle, because we see both these champions get banned away quite a lot, and often we don't see them both left open. I think this might be the first time I've seen a Pantheon versus Olaf this meta entirely. So talk to me about how this matchup goes.
Yeah, so Pantheon just does a ton of damage. In the early levels, his stun makes him really powerful, especially if he's got the assistance of teammates, because then he can just kill Olaf. But in a 1v1, Olaf fares a little bit better, because if Pantheon doesn't have the damage to 100 to 0 him, then Olaf can obviously heal up. I think mid games where Olaf starts to really pick up with Gore Drinker, and that's where he can come on point, especially when he hits 6. But early levels, I expect Sharp to have more of an impact, but obviously Olaf is the one with the better clears. So there's strengths and benefits to both sides of this matchup. It's really about playing around them. Sharp, I'm looking at to make more of an impact early. Chill might be waiting a little bit longer for that mid game, but he's really happy just farming up and getting to that point.
Alrighty, well, defensive lines starting up here for these teams. No one's going for any early game stuff. To be honest, I don't think either team would want to walk into each other without the vision. So just going to be the blue buff start for both Chelm and for Sharp, although Chelm is going to be taking this leashless.
One of the powers of Olaf, obviously you can get low HP and clear pretty effectively. Also one of the risks of playing Olaf in a Pantheon, because obviously he has an execute when you get low on HP, so a precarious one if you end up clearing low. Now, this bot lane matchup, I favor pretty heavily towards Dusty. Senna, one of the champions who can actually pretty heavily contest Aphelios, just in terms of his range, and Gragas into Alistar is a really nice matchup, because if he goes for a combo and you time your body slam to interrupt it, you can completely negate it. It's a really powerful counter matchup. And you can see Dusty finding a lot of pressure already, which they need. Like, I will say this again, Chrisberg has been the 1v9 hero for Nordavind. Despite their lack of success in the league, his stats have been insane.
Kerb's going for a fight with Flaxish, although Flaxish is going to layer a lot of damage into Kerb. Kerb gets the Narbar off, but Flaxish wants to continue the fight, continue the scrap. Got that Q coming up fairly soon. Kerb's about to lose his VAR form. Flaxish has to flash away. Flaxish getting a little bit too overeager there. Does have a big wave pushing into him, so may just look for a teleport as well as Kerb.
I think that's like the worst top lane fight I've ever seen. So Kerb goes in mini Gnar, which is obviously questionable. And then he's not level 3, so he can't even stun Flaxish. That's normally what you want to be able to do. You want to be able to stun him. So, I mean, we'll watch it again. He's already lower HP than Flaxish. He doesn't respect the level 2, goes in, doesn't have the W to stun even when he hits Mega Gnar. So despite the fact he goes Mega, he has to run away. And the only thing that saves him is the Grasp, right? That gives him a bit of extra health. And then Flaxish, he could have taken a one trade. The wave was pushing against him. That was lane winning for Flaxish. But instead, he chases Kerberos. And because he chases him, he gets beaten up by the minions. He has to reset. He doesn't want to burn TP. The wave is allowed to crash, and he misses a ton of farm as well. I mean, look at that CS difference. That's not going to be made up by that wave. So, I mean, Flaxius was handed the game on a plate, and he dropped it.
And he's fumbling a lot of this farm under the tower as well. So, like you said, it's going to be a while until he's actually able to bounce this and accrue that CS deficit back. As honestly, I don't think he's got a single melee minion, and he's barely getting any of these casters. And Kerb is now just bullying him under tower. Really, really big fumble from Flaxish, and this could cause a real issue now.
I mean, this is how the lane should go. Gnar should have the pressure, Gnar should have the control, but Flaxish, he had an out. He had a get out of jail free card. It's just frustrating, I think, to see. But for both sides, honestly, both of them misplayed there. But either way, we'll manage to soldier on. But lane, we see Nordavind have started to get a bit more pressure. Obviously, Alistar being level 3 now does have that threat, does have that engage potential. And the Aphelios as well, you have to respect his range to Ras. Now he can use his Q to sort of sync up with his weapons.
Chelm's going for an invade, although there are no camps to take here. Kerb's underneath his tower, so Flaxish getting chunked out. Maybe playing the bait job here, although Kerb about to get the Narbar starting to stack up. And they are actually looking for this. They're going to force the teleport out as well. So in comes Legions for the backup. And Kerb hops, skips, and jumps over Chelms. Forces 2 flashes. Flashes himself. They need to find this kill. A lot was burnt there from the side of Dusty. And Nordavind will just pick up the Dragon in response. Honestly, Dusty, that was really sloppy.
Yeah, a really heavy investment. And the big thing is, Flaxius was so low in HP, they had to bring Legions in early. Flaxius couldn't grab aggro and tank. And so the end result is it gave Kerberos a lot of time to decide what to do. He manages to bounce away. And yes, he burns Flash. Yes, he misses a bunch of farm. But the fact he survives is honestly a feat in and of itself. And Nordavind are able to answer with the Dragon on the other side.
He does burn Flash, but he burns Legion's TP and Flash and Chelm's Flash. So
Yeah,
ultimately,
I'll take it.
Flash for free summoner spells. Pretty good trade there. Flaxish now just looking to poke Kerb a little bit. Does do a fair amount of damage to him. Got that Meteor. As Repo is
going
to come up and we can do this
ideally
again.
here, you want Flaxius to grab aggro, and then Chilm can kill him. And then obviously when Flaxius leaves the tower, Chilm can finish him off, taking a couple of tower hits. But the problem is that Flaxius is so low, he never wants to take tower aggro. So they have to TP Legions in to take it, and that gives Kerberos time to make his getaway. Flaxius just took too much damage when he was trying to force the wave in. You could see they were rushing, and they ended up paying for it.
Yeah, second crab rotation as well was secured by Sharp. So Chelm not able to get that. And Flaxish now does get some free time with a wave underneath his tower alone. Kerb's gone for the reset, so he did get pretty heavily chunked out. Flaxish now got level 6. That's the key thing to watch here. One of the things about the Malphite is you don't actually have to have the best laning phase. You can just hit 6 and press R.
Yeah, but the counterpoint is that Ericsson will be able to hit 6 and press R, and he's going to
Yes.
have the AP ratios, so it goes both ways.
One of these things is not like the other. There's a lot of actions broken out. No first blood, though. 7 minutes into the game, and
I think the big thing is we've seen a quiet early game from Sharp. Kind of expected him maybe to be doing a bit more with regards to early pressure. Obviously, a lot of ganking power with that point and click stun, but being pretty uneventful as of yet. I think both teams looking at this as a critical win. Both of them are obviously not where you'd want to be right now in terms of the standings. And I think that's where there's more impact. You're playing a team like Fnatic or XL, and it's like, well, we win, it's amazing. If we don't, it's not that big of a deal. But when you're playing against a team who's also having a rough split, it's like, if you lose this one, it's really doomed. It's really going to be hard. Both teams, I feel like losing this would kind of put them in the bottom end of the group and potentially could be one of the big matches that dictate whether or not they make playoffs. And that's the big thing, because you can play as well as you want, you can improve as much as you want. If you don't make playoffs, you're not going to be able to show that. So
this could be affecting your relegations. You might have to go into relegations.
True.
So a lot on the line here. It's not just about the playoffs. It's about your hopes for next season. Is Ericsson not going to be able to stop Legions from getting that base off? But with the knowledge that Legions is based and the knowledge that Legions has no teleport, Nordavind are going to translate this into a Rift Herald for themselves.
Yeah, you see Touch moving up, just trying to hover in between to try and assist, but actually Dusty are going to match, and both of them have level 6, so they could really contest Nordavind on that if they want to.
Yeah, members are coming over. Flaxish is just buying some space and shot, pulling the Herald out, but trying to keep it going for the moment. Ericsson can steal away the Ragnarok, and actually that'd be really annoying to deal with. I mean, there's not a bad ultimate for him to steal. Every ult is great.
Orianna's a little bit...
It's the
a great
hardest to
ultimate.
use, but it's still good.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good ultimate. The problem is you can only use it on yourself, and like it loses a lot of value in that sense.
It becomes like a bigger rel ultimate, basically. Chrisberg getting some free time on the plates, as Touch was about as well, so he was fine.
I mean, that's the big cost here, is that Nordavind were willing to back away, but I'll hold that thought. Seeing Ericsson TP in here.
Yeah, he's looking to jump in. They've got the Ragnarok. They're not even going to use it. Sharp slides in and secures first blood. Ericsson now got that Malphite ultimate. Legion's still flashless, so could be in for a bit of hurt if he tries to step up.
Yeah, really nice TP from Ericsson, sort of responding to Legion's earlier play, which is disrespectful. Not disrespectful, unsuccessful. Ericsson's able to use his TP to secure a turnaround, but we see Touch.
Touch actually caught down. Hasn't got sticks as the railgun fires in. Pedersen gets the shield off. They burn the flash and the heal and the ignite from Touch.
Crispec could be in some trouble.
Yeah, he's getting flanked onto by Legions. He's going to throw out the Infernum ultimate, but the Shockwave's going to connect, and Hoy's tank and tower will heal to make sure they get away safely. And finally, Dusty do find themselves a kill on the board. Ericsson will take this opportunity with Sharp, though, to take down some plates, and they may even find the turret here. No one's really in position to defend this, and they'll be able to take these plates fairly quickly.
Yeah, I don't think they'll get the tower here. I've been wrong before, but I think Legion should be here in time.
Yeah,
and that last plate's going to get pretty tanky. So it'll get close, but not quite enough to take that tower. But that's a lot of plate gold for Ericsson and Sharp, which I'd definitely be happy about.
That was very close. Curb's going to get a tower here in the top. Oh, a plate, sorry, here in the top side. And Flaxis just continues to get bullied around.
Yeah, we can see there's a slight lead in the bot lane for Dusty, thanks to that play and also just the CS lead that Hoyes was able to accrue. But on the rest of the map, it's very much in favor of the side of Nordavind. Those plates coming in huge, particularly for Sharp, who is substantially ahead of Chilm in the jungle. So looking positive overall for Nordavind, especially with that dragon in pocket, but a second one has spawned. And actually, they have TP advantage here. Kerberos nearly has the Mega. So I think you can just go for this dragon right now. You know Flaxis isn't going to be able to respond. You know Kerberos is ready to TP in and just dominate the fight. So it should be pretty free to pick up.
Yeah, it's an absolute freebie. Dusty have no interest in even contesting it. They're going to go for the resets. And Pedersen may throw an optimistic Q out. We'll spot them with this Scry's Bloom. They know it's happening, but they know there's nothing they can really do about it. So that will be a second dragon in the pocket of Nordavind, as we're actually looking at an Ocean Soul this game. Both teams are going to be quite happy with that one. Although Nordavind may be feeling a little bit more happy with that one, as they've already got 2 dragons for themselves. And Pedersen alone will have to defend this tower, as 4 members are collapsing towards him. Does have the cask available so he can scatter people out, but Chrisberg with the kill anything guns will just be able to deal with this wave.
So the Kraken Slayer secured though on the center. Didn't pick up the boots in order to finish that mythic sooner, so Hoy is pretty strong right now. But that pressure coming out for the mid-jungle matchup just means that Nordavind were able to push them away, catch up some of that CS lead, get some plates on a Chrisberg. And I mean, speaking of plates, it is super in favor of Nordavind. 2 in the top lane, 4 mid, and 3 in the bot lane already. And that's really what is sort of developing this gold lead that we have so far. It's just the plates that have been picked up.
Yeah, it's only 1 plate total for Dusty. Pedersen once again looking to see if he can set up. Although Nordavind are going to back away. Chelm, I believe, hasn't been spotted. A great cast got to Chrisberg into the snare. He just loses his life. Hoyes gets the kill. Beautiful execution. Chelm not able to get there in time, unfortunately, for himself. But Nordavind are going to look to make a play here in the mid lane, as Kerberos going to get chunked out a little bit by Flaxish, and this will be that turret falling down. Although they may lose some life here. Legions comes in. Shockwave's going to land onto one. Ericsson has his own Shockwave. Gets the Railgun shield on for the moment. Looks to flash away as Ericsson pops the R, but the rest of the team making their way over. Chelm flashes over the wall. Has the Ragnarok on, so you're not going to be able to get away from that one, as Hoyes looking for that last auto. Can't quite get it. Looking for the snare. Gets himself the kill onto Ericsson. And it's a kill for a tower trade for Dusty.
Dusty are finding the kills, but not really much else on top of that, whereas Nordavind are really set on getting these towers chunked out. Does keep them ahead in terms of gold, but Nordavind, you kind of got to see that one coming. You go for that mid lane tower. It's expected the team are going to respond, and I expect to see a similar situation here. Flaxis has ultimate.
Yep, he is going to throw it down. He's actually got Chelm and Legions coming in to save the day. They put the shield on him, they get the dissonance, and Sharp chunked out for the moment. Curb looks to jump back onto Legions. Legions is flashless, and Legions is into the wall. They find a kill onto Sharp, but it's a 1-for-1 so far, and Curb can just run through mid. The tower's down already, so it's just a 1-for-1 ultimately.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're fine with that 1-for-1 and getting the tower, but Nordavind being a little ambitious with these tower takes. They're still getting away with it as of yet. Dusty are doing their best to punish, but we're just seeing tier 1 after tier 1 go down. We'll see this replay, and ultimately Chrisberg's just disrespectful here. You have to flash the cast. You can't flash afterwards. If you're going to hold your flash for whatever reason, then you shouldn't have flashed at all, but definitely a late flash on that one. And then here, Sharp and Ericsson, they go for the tower, the low HP one. It's a little bit of a bait, forces them into an uncomfortable position, and Hoyes is able to snipe Ericsson out. But again, you still take that trade. You probably could have got that tower without losing a life there, but you opted to go for it a little bit ambitiously, but the overall net gain is bigger for Nordavind. And it's a similar situation here. They get the tower, they get a kill trade. Not the cleanest, but it's still a scenario that Nordavind should be happy with.
Yeah, absolutely. Building of the Rage Blade is coming in for Hoist. I actually can't remember what that component item's called. Is that Rage Knife, I think?
Yes.
Yes! Getting there. I'm learning.
Yeah, and it's actually a pretty significant pickup, just because transitions that crit into the on-hit. It's actually kind of a massive factor, like the fact that you can just pick that up and have the passive available already. Because Senna obviously has a bit of crit from the Kraken Slayer, but also a decent amount of crit from her passive. Actually be interested to see how many souls Poise is on right now. 27, so not too much coming from the passive, but getting a decent amount of on-hit damage in already, which is the big thing, because similar to how Senna used to go man immune, it was very much because she applies on-hit effects so well, obviously with the autos, and with her Q on top of that, she's able to quickly rack them up.
Is there like a number we're looking for on Senna stacks where we're like, okay, this is now Hoise's game, or is it just they're nice and the more she gets, it's better?
They're nice, and the more she gets, it's better. Okay. I think it's a little bit tricky to get stacks than it used to be, because obviously they got nerfed quite a bit time and time again, and they're a little bit lower value than they used to be because they got nerfed again and again. So ultimately, it's very much about how well she does with the items, but picking up consistent stacks, you want to in the mid game get into that sort of 40-60 point, late game 80, closing on 100 is like the ideal sort of area. But I don't think 27 is particularly low for now. It's just a lot slower to be getting them.
Yeah. Just so you know, we had a quick pause, obviously, hence why everything went brown and it came back to us. Flaxish and the side of Dusty are currently experiencing some mic issues, so we'll be getting that sorted and then get them back into game as soon as possible. Normally, these things don't take too long. It's not like a full router restart. You know what makes me sad about Gragas now? Is ever since that Arctic Ops skin came out, we don't ever see any of the other Gragas skins. And Gragas has so many good skins. Like, he has so many good skins. You got the one where he has the big wine cask. You've got the Oktoberfest one where he has the really obnoxious recall. You got the Hillbilly one. He's got so many good skins, man.
Yeah, Scuba Gragas.
Oh, yes, Scuba Gragas.
that one's something else.
Champion gets so many good skins, man. And all we get is Arctic Ops and the new one, but just came out fairly recently. Like his Warden one or something.
I mean, it's how they get you. You want the new skin, you want something fresh, you want something different. And then everyone just falls prey to it. I think something that's kind of interesting to me is Crispix opted for the Kraken Slayer in this game. And I completely understand there's a Malphite in the team, there's an Olaf, there's a Gragas, you want to be able to kill them, but there's also a Malphite, a Gragas, and an Olaf, so I feel like Gale Force would have been a strong pickup as well.
Yeah.
For those same reasons. It's kind of one of those, it's like, how confident are you feeling in your own skills?
Enough, over on the UKLC, which is our Division 2 for the UK, but one of the many leagues that feeds into the NLC, we had quite a few Aphelioses over the last couple of days, and I don't think we had a single Gale Force Aphelios this week. I think everyone went Kraken Slayer.
I mean, it just synergized really well with them, but at the same time, how much damage are you doing when you're dead?
They're looking for the belly bop. They're looking for Sharp. Sharp's actually going to get bucked into the wolf the moment they get the second belly bop build, and that is just a wipe already. Dusty losing 2. Hoyes has to flash away, but Touch comes in with a 3-man pole. The Grand Starfall into a 2-man shockwave. Hoyes is just trying to kite and fight his way out of this one, but it's not going to be enough. Chelm goes down, and now Legions and Hoyes, the only two standing, as Sharp is jumping in, uses the Aegis to keep himself alive for the moment, and here comes Ericsson, the chain lash and the slam. Gets himself a double kill. Ericsson executing gorgeously with the Everfrost, and it's an ace for Nordavind.
Ericsson just honestly solo carrying that entire team fight, and Nordavind just blowing the game clean open. Third Dragon often a point of contention, but watch this here. So they see Sharp, Flaxis kind of finds a route on him, but they're very split in this team fight. Hoyes and Legions can't follow up, and Sharp, he can tank damage for a while, and then the Malphite ult from Ericsson just has so much more of a kick than the one coming out from Flaxius thanks to AP ratios. They continue the fight. Touch has a great engage to follow up here. And at this point, I mean, I know they're on the wrong side of the map, but Hoyes and Legions, I guess their thought process is we have to try and get out. Let's force this way. But the point-and-click stun comes in. And then Ericsson here with this nifty one. He's in, flashes to close the distance, and then Everfrost for the double kill. Gets a collateral on that one.
Cool, guys. Don't look at explosions as he turns around after that went down.
That goal difference is just blown open from that.
It's really, really big. Riftail's getting done here as
I mean, I'm pretty sure
Actually, might
Ericsson
find
just
himself
picked up a
being in
Zhonya's.
trouble, gets cast back into the team. As he tried to taxi from the Rift Herald, but the Shockwave will pull him back. And Hoyes will secure himself that kill and a stack. And this could actually be the Herald now for Dusty.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Touch was doing there. I'm not sure Touch knew what he was doing there. I think Flash just knows what he's doing here.
Chrisberg. That's a Ragnarok in Olaf, and that is him down. Now Sharp has to deal with it. Curb and Ericsson make their way over. They do steal away the Orianna ultimate, but Curb is dead. Ericsson gets a two-man sombrero off, and the spear from Sharp's enough to find himself a double kill. Ericsson goes golden. Hoyes trying to find that shutdown in time. Can he get it? No, Ericsson! Kingslayers for the health back. They do finally get the response, but it's a quadra kill for Sharp, and Flaxish on the run. Can Sharp get himself the pentakill? He's going for it. No, he's not. He's out.
I've not got words for this situation. I can't believe that Nordavind win that fight before, and then they just opt into this and kind of clown it, but still somehow win. I mean, Chrisberg, no Gale Force, Flashes ends up not getting away from the Malphite ultimate goes down, and then this is so messy. They're already down 2 members, but Ericsson and Sharp do so much. Honestly, I want to highlight Ericsson more because Sharp's just kind of getting the executes in this one, but Ericsson does so much work here, buying time, healing up, dashing in and out, and Sharp is there just to finish them off time and time again. This mid jungle is just doing so much work for Nordavind. And honestly, that was a fine fight for Dusty to take. Nordavind were a man down. They killed Chrisberg. Just unfortunately, they could not deal with the Silas and the Pantheon, who are just monstrous right now, and item up on their counterparts.
And the Rift Herald was secured during that replay. Ericsson doing so much work, and honestly, it's time
Ericsson
for
needs a pay rise. I don't know what he's getting paid now, but whatever it is, it needs to go up.
Well, speaking of getting paid, Sharp is worth a fair chunk of gold, so a shutdown onto him could be fairly influential.
Ah, yes, the champion who has an invulnerability, a Sterax, and a
gold
Ginsu,
drinker.
aka 3 invulnerabilities.
Well, Wave's going to get shoved in, but I don't really know what Dusty can do here. This turret's still fairly healthy, although members are off in the side lanes, and Dusty may just commit everybody mid, but they're going to lose a lot in the side because Sharp's over there with the Rift Herald. The mid lane tower will crumble, but they now have to reset really, really fast, so they're going to start to lose some base structures.
I mean, Nordavind are fine with this. 1 tower for, well, they only get that one in the bot lane, but it's a tier 2, and they get damage on that top one. I think they were okay with that situation. Dusty have to bring 5 members to force that push mid, but, you know, as much as I say I think Nordavind are happy, on the other side, Dusty do break that mid lane tower, which is a pretty pivotal one for getting mid priority and controlling the area, so maybe there is some value, and the importance is hopefully they can look to use that priority to lean towards that dragon. We are on soul point for Nordavind, 50 seconds till that potential soul, and I think if they get the ocean soul, with the amount of healing and survivability Sharp and Ericsson already have, I think the game's just over. It's going to be very hard for Dusty to find a way back in, but they are
flash.
looking.
Oh, Chrisberg! Cast back into Doom, and Hoyes will secure the kill. Touch standing in the middle of the team, but the teleports are coming in for the backup of the railgun onto the cow. And beef burgers are on the menu. Hoyes gets a double kill.
How's that Kraken Slayer doing for you? Is all I'm going to say. Chrisberg gets picked off by Flaxis. Once again finds him out, and Pedersen with a beautiful dunk shot to knock him back and finish him off. Dusty take the mid tier 2. Should just head straight over this dragon and look to secure that one. The only risk is Sharp can Grand Star fall in and go for a steal. Could be devastating. And we'll see
Does
what
have to be a
Nordavind
little
can
careful.
do.
There is the Rageblade Kraken Slayer combo built up here for Hoyes, but this is the difference between soul
There it is.
or not. There's the slam in to everyone. The Grand Starfall's been used. Hoyes has the flash away from Ericsson, who looks to the chain lash. Can't land a single thing, but he flashes over the wall, and that's the shutdown. Dusty, though, in the meantime, get the kill onto the jungler. Ericsson is going to have to do so much work. Does have his team with him, but it's not going to be enough as he comes in for the chain lash. 2-man knocker comes down, and Chelm looking for the kill. Goes golden in the middle of everyone, and Chrisberg has rejoined the fray. But Durson flashes away, and Chelm will just lose his life. Nordavind fire back.
And honestly, Dusty can be more than happy with that one. Yes, Nordavind gets some exit kills, but they got some big shutdowns there. The gold lead has gone from 6,000 to 4,000, and critically, they denied the soul. Now, downside is, Shielm's not up for 20 seconds, and Nordavind are going straight towards that Baron.
Remember, it's Kraken Slayer Aphelios, so we'll actually go down very, very fast.
TP on Flaxish. He's looking to join in. I think Nordavind have to back away.
Wait, Legions?
They're committing.
Legions is just clearing mid. He's not even interested in contesting. Here comes Flaxish, has that R available. Can he find the perfect targets? Yes, he can. A two-man knock-up, but Legions has to flash away as everyone just throws everything onto him. It's a double kill for Hoyes already, though. Gonna heal Flaxish back up, but Durston finds a two-man belly bop onto Sharp and Touch as he's continuing to keep the chase going. The spear comes in from Sharp, and that is gonna be another kill for Hoyes. 3 kills for Dusty as they lose their mid laner, and now Baron might just be for them.
I mean, Sharp can try and steal this. We'll wait and see what happens here. Pedersen's looking, but he does have Flash, does have Smite, but no vision in the pit. He has a pink ward. Could be the key to him finding his way in.
Yeah, he's going to use that for the moment, but he gets caught out by the snare. Pedersen comes over the wall, looking just to channel him. He failed the flash! Sharp can't get in the pit. And now Pedersen going to look to annoy Sharp as much as possible. The Q will not execute him here. The Sterix has been popped. And Dusty pulling this game back from what was honestly a really, really scary position. Let's have a look at that Baron pit, Dragon pit again.
I mean, the critical thing is that this fight is split, and Ericsson looks straight for Hoyes and is able to find him here. But the rest of the team for Dusty are just doing so much work. The mix of these bulky frontliners with Legions to back them up is able to decimate the Gnar and the Pantheon there, and they're able to secure the Dragon. So already, Dusty are happy with this scenario. You deny the soul. That's the critical thing. But even then, Legions gets out, Pedersen gets out, Flaxus gets out. They only lose their jungler. And Nordavind, you can't go for this play. The jungler's not there, so you're scared to finish it because you know you don't have a smite. And being trapped in the pit against this team is never going to work, ever. And even then, after the fact, you see Dusty able to chase down Touch to the back end, and that basically secures them a guaranteed Baron, because realistically, Sharp shouldn't even get this close, in all honesty. I think Dusty kind of mismanaged this a bit, but critically, Pedersen gets in the way. Sharp isn't able to flash over because the body slam knocked him back, and it's just a complete mess. We went from a 6k gold lead with 3 dragons for Nordavind to a 1k gold lead, and Dusty had Baron. And look at the gold on that center. Hoyes is a monster. 63 souls. Got the Kraken Slayer. Got the Ginsus. Not sure what the third item was. Didn't get a chance to see. Rapid fire, yep. Figures. So this center is very difficult to deal with right now.
The siege is starting up. Curb. That is so much damage from the center queue. Can they find their opportunity back in to this game as Nordavind? We're in such a commanding position and it's just crumbled away from them. 5 members of Dusty have just grouped up though. They're not looking to push any of the side lanes, and there's actually only 3 turrets they've been able to take. Only mid lane turrets have fallen to Dusty here. Getting an inhibitor may give them the opportunity to start to take some of these outer structures a little bit more freely, as the inhib should fall down to Dusty now.
Easy pickings, and they still have so much standing gold. They're 500 gold down, but there's 2 towers bot, 2 towers top, and that's just outside the base. Dusty really should be able to clean out here, but the thing they're concerned about is that dragon in 40 seconds. They do not want to lose that one.
Absolutely not. They may just look to take down this bot lane tower, keeps them in the area of where this is, but for the moment is going to be the crab, as there are wards about, and it looks like Dusty may be setting something up. Curve's about to gnar out, so this is actually a really rough time to fight. As everybody goes into the spooky zone, look for Flaxish, look for the ultimate. Ericsson gets chunked already. Flaxish walking forward, but not going to find his opportunity.
That's so
Flaxish
scary.
has to be careful, because if Ericsson steals his R, it's big as Curb jumps in. Curb gets belly bopped, can't find his opportunity, and Hoyes free firing away. The railgun is going to get fired off as Ericsson gets a kill onto Chelm. Jungler down, Sharp just kiting and fighting his way through the 2 carries on the backline as Pedersen flashes out. Nordavind's health bars are low. There's the chain lash. There's the triple kill. Legions locked down by the Graviton. Pedersen will lose his life as the Alistair gets the kill, and it's a quadra kill over to the Ericsson. I forgot his name for a minute.
I'm going to again. Ericsson deserves a raise after this game. He has done so much for the team in this one. And we saw Dusty make a mammoth comeback. And Nordavind bounce back when they need to. They find the fight. They deny the rest of the Baron buff. Those towers in the side lanes not going to be touched. And they secure the soul. We're going to replay. Kibros goes in, and it's a little bit tricky for him to find route. But this great wombo combo that comes out actually ends up favoring Nordavind, because the carries from Dusty can't do anything. Sharp's doing a great job of zoning them, buying time here, and actually managed to survive on the back end. And that's when Ericsson jumps in. But the critical thing is in that big mess, in that big jumble in the team fight, Chrisberg was able to free fire, and Ericsson was able to do so much work, particularly with that Malphite ult he stole and the sheer amount of AP he had backing it.
And you can see the gold up, down, and back down again. Slowly, Nordavind are starting to pull this gold lead back, but I feel like the gold lead's slowly becoming more and more relevant as we are starting to hit the kind of later stages where more and more items get finished up. I do want to talk a little bit about these junglers. At the moment, Chelm's only rocking 2 items, got the Gordrink and the Sterix, so not actually got massive amounts of survivability. Obviously, we've all seen what Gordrinker can do, but he is actually melting so fast to CC.
Yeah. I mean, I think Sterix makes a massive difference in survivability, but the Ocean Soul for Nordavind, the invulnerability for Sharp, and the Spirit Visage is going to finish, just make him so much harder to kill. And with Dusty, it's really about the high impact initially. I think if Dusty are winning fights, it's because it's these snap, boom, the fight's won, we got a big ult combo, Chrisberg's dead, Ericsson's in tatters. That's what they need to happen. In the longer fights, particularly with the Ocean Soul, Ericsson gets huge value. Sharp is able to buy a lot of time and go through his rotations. And I think Dusty didn't find a good avenue to approach that fight. It was Nordavind who set it up. So better approach the next one, but it's still definitely winnable for Dusty. Goal difference is only about 2,500. And although the Ocean Soul makes things an issue, again, Dusty want quick fights where the Ocean Soul typically isn't going to be as much of an issue.
Level 16 hit on Flaxish as well, so much cooldown as possible on that R for himself. And a little bit of bonus damage. Nothing to sneer at. I think also keeping in mind, Dusty took that fight after they'd taken a lot and actually hadn't reset and spent their gold. So
yeah,
now the fight would look a bit different because there's the last Whisper finished up. There's the Executioner's calling on Hoys.
I'm wondering how much ability haste does Gragas have at this point? Because he has a ton.
It doesn't show, does it?
Can it be moused over? Or will it not show then either? Oh, that is so lame.
That is actually so lame.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he gets... Is it... he gets 20 from the CDR boots, 10 from the Kindle gems. That's like 30. Is it 10?
Is he running Transcendence?
You know what? We'll leave it to another time. Yeah, there's 20 from that.
Cosmic Drive's 30.
70, with Transcendence, you should have 90 ability haste. But then he could have some in his runes as well. So that's a lot of CDR altogether. You can just look at the C cooldown on his body slam. Let me just mouse over that.
6 seconds.
Yeah, 6.3. And obviously, if he collides with something, it reduces by 3. So, like, Pedersen's actually getting a ton of value in this game. And he does sizable damage. He's got the mandate. He's got a bit of AP from the Cosmic Drive. So,
how long does the CC last from the body slam?
Something like a second. So you can't like perma change them,
second,
but like
yeah. So you have, 2 seconds you have 2 seconds to play around the body slam effectively.
Sure, but he has a lot of other CC too.
Yes, exactly. Pedersen is going to get a big chunk onto him. His Chelm has to flash the wall. Touch also flash there, so the headbutt pole flash combo isn't quite there. Nordavind though do get the priority in the pit. And we'll take this time to look to try and find a pick and just some lane control for themselves, as Hoys is going to just clear through this way fairly quickly with the fact he's got an Orianna at his back. Spotted out by the Scryers, and as Baron started up, touches on that flanking position.
This was where Nordavind did throw that fight. We'll see if they do it better here.
Well, touch comes over the wall, doesn't actually hit onto anyone. He's chunked already. Flaxish, look for his R. Ericsson stolen it away. Big railgun, but it's not going to land. The shockwave is disgusting, and they're just layering in the damage. Hoys remains untouched. Curb, can he find it? No, he can't. He's chunked. Gets the slap back only onto one. The wallop is there. He misses the building toss, and he is taken out. Has to use the GA for the moment. Chrisberg firing away for the moment as well, but that is going to be Hoys securing another kill. 3 members of Nordavind fall to Dusty.
Oh, Crispig is still a massive threat, though. Dusty has to be careful with his low health bars, but they are going to head towards that Baron. We'll see if Nordavind try and contest.
Touch is trying to be a nuisance, but Pedersen just gatekeeping anywhere near this Baron.
The lack of vision makes it so dangerous to approach. Crispig's just going to back away. You could see he was capable of doing so much damage, but he wasn't able to find a way in. And I want you to watch Flash's patience on this ult here. We've talked about Ericsson all game, how instrumental he's been, and we see this beautiful combo that honestly Ericsson just, if he'd Zhonya's maybe would have cut it out, but the cast into the Malphite ult, into the Shockwave, Ericsson is gone. No chance to do anything, and Sharp ends up following shortly after. You can see Crispig trying to shred all this damage out, but they always consistently are playing outside his range. They are not approaching him. They're like, Crispig's a problem, leave him alone, kill everyone else. And eventually Crispig's still standing, but the rest of his team isn't. Beautiful approach to that team fight from Dusty, but they're in a good spot. And now with Elder Dragon spawning, gold is actually marginally in favor of Dusty, but still very close. This game is on a knife's edge.
Oh, they're looking to try and just get the flank out here. Touch coming in, the flash goes down, Pedersen gets Curb. Curb has no Gnar, and that will be him dead. Teleport coming in, and Ericsson may just lose his life. The Shockwave can't even move. It's a double kill for Legions. Dusty take out 2, and they were the 2 big threats as well. Touch and Crispberg are going to have to do some real work with Sharp to make sure that this isn't just the end of the game. 40 seconds until Ericsson comes back up. The inhibitor will crumble to the siege from Dusty, and it looks like they didn't even need to take tier 1s in bot or top to take this game. They're going to look to close it out here. Sharp slides in. Crispberg got that flamethrower off, gets himself a shutdown already, throws out the ultimate with the Moonlight Vigil, but it's not going to land. And Flaxish may be caught out by the Graviton, but it's not going to be enough to really turn anything around here. The waves are crashing in. The Baron buff is still well and truly on. And Flaxish taking a lot of damage. His touch goes to the headbutt pole. Poise still remains completely untouched. And the railgun onto Crispberg means he will just have to use that stopwatch. Unstoppable kill for Legions. The shutdown for Legions. And at 35 minutes on the clock, Dusty find their first win of the NLC.
I've got to give huge credit to Hoyes and Pedersen. They did so much there. That bot lane was just absolutely monstrous in that game. And it's crazy when typically we've seen Crispberg being such an overperformer for Nordavind. Just wasn't able to find his way into those team fights. And the Senna coming up massive. The Gragas doing so much work. And the easier to execute composition doing wonders. But honestly, both sides had a lot of mistakes that game. And I think Nordavind will be so frustrated with that one because they had it. They had it. That game was in the bag. They had it. And they threw it away. And I have to give credit to Dusty to finding those windows to punish. But it's just wild to me that Nordavind had such a 6,000 gold, 3 dragon lead. And they managed to end up losing on that. But credit to Dusty. They fought hard for their first win, but they managed to get it in the end.
Cashed in hard on the Kraken Slayer Senna. Now, speaking of cashing in, we got to pay the bill, so we're going to throw some adverts at your face. See you in a second.
night. In the twilight before the dark hour. And this time I better get it right.
Welcome back, Dusty. Finally get a win in the NLC, and I am genuinely so happy that they have. I even though I predicted Nordavind, I did think they were going to take the victory. It's just better for the competition in Group A that Dusty get a win. It's just better that it keeps them in the running for playoffs. It keeps the group a little bit more interesting. There is still now a fight at the bottom of the table. No one's getting like put in the bottom of the barrel and shot 1,000 times, and the fish go on top of them. You know, like that's basically what happens.
As you do.
Great analogy. Great analogy.
Yeah, I think a lot of it also just came from what we kind of talked about. We wanted some easier to execute draft composition, and we saw that from Dusty. It was that kind of dogpile you were talking about, Foxy, as well. Like, you get the Malphite ult, you get the Orianna, it's the classic wombo combo, and then you got the backline damage coming in. It was everything you needed to get back in that game, and you made it work in a fashion. Not the cleanest, but in a way, right?
We take those, man. We take
those.
Well, we actually have an interview, and for the first time ever, we're welcoming someone from Dusty for the interview, Foxy. So you have the pleasure to do this interview, so we're going to pass it over to you.
Yeah, pleasure's the perfect word. Congratulations, Yo Legions, mate. How you doing? You won.
Thank you. What's up? Do you hear me? Hello?
Yes, hello.
Hello.
You're feeling good? You feeling happy?
Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling really good. We finally get a win. And even if we griefed so hard, we even got the win somehow.
Yeah, it's all right. We take those. That's what we say. We take those.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you were 0-4 coming into this game today, up against Nordavind as well. I'd also been struggling. Do you think there was like maybe any more pressure on you guys to kind of do something here? Because if you did win this, honestly, your playoff hopes were pretty scarce. So was that anything you were considering going into this game?
Yeah, definitely. I think this is a huge win for us. Like, ending the first half of the split on a win, and it only can go up from here.
Has it been like difficult as well, being part of the squad, like with the atmosphere when you're losing games, and how do you kind of keep your spirits up to just keep focusing on the next game?
Well, kinda, yeah, but like we all knew that we played really bad. The first 4 games, obviously I didn't play the first 2, but yeah, the 2 games that I played, we played really bad. But we knew that, like all of us, that we had something more in the tank, and definitely showed today that we can like beat other teams and can reach playoffs.
So that's your goal? You're going to reach playoffs?
Yes, for now, like one step at a time. Obviously, we want to win it all, but for now, we just want to reach playoffs.
Nice. Well, this is, like you say, one step at a time, and this was really an important step for you guys to take. You are Icelandic, and that is a nationality we don't see a lot of in the NLC. I believe it's yourself. Is it Huzi is also Icelandic, and you're Huzi, and
Saucy and Hoyce.
Yeah. What's that like? Joining this league and you repping Iceland, man. How's that feel?
I mean, it's awesome. Like being Icelandic and getting to compete here. Like, there's not many of us, so we want to show the best performance that we can do.
Yeah, and today was not 100% the cleanest, but that's fine because you got the win, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
And that question of the day I've been asking all the players, Udir, he's been rearing his ugly bear head every now and then. And what do you think about Udir right now in the meta?
I think he's really strong, especially in the in competitive when the games are slower than usual. Like and like your clear is really fast, and you're really strong at taking breaks, and I think that's the meta right now: farming and taking breaks, and fighting here and now, here and then. I meant.
All right, so we might see some more Udir. That's I've got one last question for you, just really quick one, just actually a quick request. Can you give me a cheeky flex before we end the interview? Without those guns for the stream.
I mean, do I have to do it?
You don't have to, no.
I mean, I have to do it for a proxy box.
Okay. How about yeah, there it is. Beautiful stuff, mate. Thank you so much, Legions, bud. Congrats again on the win. Good luck in your next
Thank
games,
you,
man.
thank you. Mashallah, wa habibi.
I can't believe you asked him that, and I can't believe he did it.
Oh dear. Well, I mean, I took my shot, man. I was seeing it. I was leaning back, and I was like, okay.
I was just noticing Legion's doing the old.
Yeah.
We're just spinning.
It must be pretty hot, to be fair. Mid February now we're in Denmark or wherever it is.
I think Dusty.
Are they actually based in Iceland still? Yeah.
Yes, they're in Iceland.
Yeah,
What?
yeah, the Icelandic org, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, we're having history lessons next time. All right.
Geography lessons, you mean?
I see there's a sign that says
Both.
kroner in the background. So I know kroner's Danish money. I didn't know if that's
It's Swedish.
Icelandic.
Well.
Icelandic. I think
Swedish,
Icelandic,
exactly.
I think Icelandic kroner is the Icelandic.
yeah, it probably is.
I think they're all kroner. I think they're literally just all kroners. Anyway, Professor Gulborg, another kroner. We're going to hand it over to Professor Gulborg for his drawing board segment. Let's go.
Man, you've thrown me out, but let's still talk about it. So, to set this scene, Nordavind is in the lead again, and the third Drake is about to respawn. We got 50 seconds on it. That means that we need setup timers. That means resets are coming through. Let's get a little arrow. I'm feeling an arrow today. So we take a look at the minimap. We can see that one person is resetting here. You see Ericsson resetting. Let's play the clip. Eventually, another person will have to reset as well. Guess what one is going to be? It's going to be the top side as well. Let's take a look at the arrow. Let's see what happens with him. Yes, he's pushing a minion wave. He's pushing the minion wave. Go on. That's the reset. All right. This is moments before disaster for Nordavind right here. As you can see, you have your jungler farming camps and moving into mid lane here. You have your top laner backing. You have your mid laner backing. What do you do here? Why are you here, Nordavind? What is this? What you don't have access to any of this anymore. All right, this is not your place. You're having resets coming through. So let's just play the fight. Let's see what happens. What, we're getting caught while we're up in mid lane with no pressure, with no vision towards this top side, with no flash on an AD carry. What's happening here? And then, of course, it's going to be easy for Dusty to come in and clean this one. They get the shots down, they get the double kill, they get the tempo, they get what was the Ocean Soul for Nordavind. And this is their way back into the game. There's a 5k goal lead right now. I don't even want to take a look at the turret. Cut the replay. It's done. It's over. Get us out of here. I don't want to see any of this again. And I see it every time I'm looking at a Nordavind game. Every goddamn time we get every neutral objective. Early game is almost perfect. We get to that last strike. What do? You throw it all out the window. Every time. Stop, Nordavind. Oh, God, Gulborg is stressed at you. And if you're looking for a new coach,
Gulborg not happy.
We're going to go to a quick break. When we're coming back, it's the fourth game of the night. We'll see you soon.